Hello everyone, and sorry to my family that I couldn't be here today. I've been given the honor to do my grandfather, Danny Awalt's eulogy. My name is Daniel Awalt, and for those people who know, I'm Daniel the fifth in the chain of Daniels. So you can call me DJ. When talking about Dan, Danny, Poppy, or Granddad, it is easy to mention his Taxi, the Chicago Blackhawks, and how much he enjoyed classic films. Instead, I would like to start by talking about love. We all know love has so many meanings and takes so many forms. I think that is why we are so fascinated by it. My grandfather knew what love was. He knew what love was because he was surrounded by it his whole life, from the moment he took his first breath until the time he took his last. Many people could never come close to experiencing the many forms of love that surrounded my grandfather. We all know that Poppy had many ways to show his love for his family and the people around him. And being that he was a male and an Awalt, love has no choice but to take many different forms. And that's very true. I believe if I were to ask my grandfather how he would describe what makes up an Awalt in a few words, I think he would say that Awalts are tough. I couldn't agree more. But what I discovered about a male Awalt is that they maybe have a tough shell now, but as they get older, the shell tends to soften. And for example, you can direct your attention to my Uncle Tony. If you look at him now, you might realize that I could probably beat him in a wrestling match, and I definitely would need the help of my brother and Steven now. So I think, Tony, it's about that time. When I see you in the summertime, I'll show you the wrath. But anyways, I believe it would, in all honesty, without a doubt, when reflecting on my grandfather's life, he would say that his greatest accomplishment was his family, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. I'm a true believer that a successful person is not someone whose pockets are full of money, but how great a legacy he leaves behind. And Poppy's legacy was his family. I often wondered what Poppy was thinking when we had the whole family in the backyard, be it Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, a summer barbecue, or even inside during Christmas. I can just picture Poppy now sitting back in the chair with the beer in his hand, and through all the noise, and when you get a bunch of Awalts together, there's a lot of noise and movement, looking around and thinking about what him and Nan created together. There's no denying the love he had for all his daughters, but also his pride for his two sons. And as the shell got thinner over time, it became more apparent how proud and how much he loved all of his children. His children became great brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins, and some actually became grandparents, and most important, mother and fathers. Now in my life, I have a better understanding of the type of love Poppy had for his children, because I'm a father now, and words cannot describe how much I love Manly. I hope to someday be sitting in a chair with a beer in my hand, surrounded by all the different forms of love all around me, and thinking to myself that I had something to do with all this stuff. Poppy was so proud of his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. I remember when I used to work at the casino, and one of the people I worked with would come up to me during my shift and say they had the most interesting conversation on their cab ride to work. They said that the driver said that he was my grandfather, and he wouldn't stop talking about you and all your family the whole entire drive. And this happened more than once. I knew that if you got in the cab with Poppy and the topic of grandchildren ever came up, well, you better forget about it, because it doesn't get any better than his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. I believe that all of us would say that we are proud of both Nanny and Poppy for what they have accomplished together. I know that the next time I have a conversation with someone and the topic of grandfather ever comes up, they better be prepared, because it doesn't get any better than my Poppy Awalt. And that's the truth. I've mentioned a lot about Poppy's love for his family, But there's one love that existed that time itself could not end. That was his love for my Nan. I've only been on this earth to experience what some would believe to be a small drop in the pond compared to what my grandfather and grandmother experienced together. I can only say that there is no doubt in my mind that they both loved each other. Nan, I know that the past few years were not easy for both of you, but we all know that looking back we see the true test of one's love for each other, and even though Poppy is not here in the physical world, his love for you is very much alive and still grows strong in all of us. Now, I'm sitting here in Quebec, and not with you, all of you guys today, but I know that if you look around and see all the faces that are here today, you can appreciate the fulfilling life that my grandfather had. You are all here because he meant something to you in your life. Now, physically, he is not here with us, but his energy and spirit is alive and well within all of us. I am proud of my grandfather and the life that he led. I am so grateful that his blood runs through my veins as it does so many of us that are here today. I learned a lot from Poppy, and I hope that I can accomplish half of what he has accomplished in his life. And as we're reminded of the circle of life, we can sit here today knowing that what brought us together is not the passing of someone, but a celebration of love he shared with all of us. So I love you, Poppy. Keep a watch over Manly, and keep a watch over all of us, and I know you will. Big hug and kisses to everybody. Mwah. Bye.